In this repair video, we're going to be working on the Maxx Tuner. Today is the Maxx Tuner day. I grabbed all of them and I'm working on them one by one. Right now, I'm working on a strange one where if we plug power to the motherboard, we do hear the chime, but nothing comes on the screen. We do hear the chime, but nothing comes on the screen. I replaced the screen and still black screen. So while we have power plugged in, let's go ahead and do some measurements and see what we find out. The board starts from here. This is the cable, and that's a Sony cable. It does not belong to this tuner, but that's what I have. A high quality cable. If we put the meter in voltage mode and we test here, we have 5 volts and we have 4.847 volts. This is good. Usually what I do when I have a bad board is I compare values with a good working board. So by comparing values in diode mode and resistance mode, measure voltages, I can almost always tell what the problem is. Now, I've worked on those boards a lot and I usually know what to look for. Right now, the first component that we measured is measuring good. Let's flip the board. It's very well known that if we have a bad component here next to the HDMI port, or we have a bad component here, those can cause a black screen. We have 4.8 volts here. .8. So let's run over the board and do a quick physical inspection before we do anything else. Sometimes a burnt component may be obvious, or maybe we have a blown component or discolored component, or maybe a component that was knocked off. Oh, what is this? What is this here? Is this a hole? We have a hole here, and that hole broke the trace that goes from here, and it should connect to this point here, which connects to back of the board. Is this normal? Definitely not. This is not normal. Let me grab another board. Check here, and look at this. The hole that we currently have on the other board is right there. The hole is in between those two resistors. So we have a broken trace. I mean, this to me looks like a long screw damage, but how can a customer screw? How can a customer put a screw in the middle of the board? It doesn't work. How is that possible? The board goes in like this. Right now the hole is right over here. It's not on the edge, it's right over here. The board goes in like this, and then you put a screw at the notch all the way down on the bottom and you screw it in. So there's no possible way that you could screw the board. There's no possible way that you can penetrate that board with a screw. I do not know how that happened or what caused that groove on the board. Very weird. Very weird. Let me plug power. If we follow that trace, and right here, and I get a reading of 3.27. So 3.27 is probably not making its way all the way here, which connects to back of the board. That's probably what's happening. One way to find out, we can scratch that mask here, and then we can measure at this point to see if we have 3.2 volts here. And let's measure. Do we have 3.2 volts here? And we do not. Just like I thought. 0 volts. Actually 0.3 volts. 0.3 volts. Now the reason we have 0.3 volts here could be because of components on back of the board, but we do not have 3.2 volts. That should be coming all the way from right here. So what we're going to do is run a wire from here to here and test to see if that will fix our problem. I never had to do a repair like this on mini Maxx tuners, and it's the first time I see something like this on the board, and I still do not know what caused this hole here. Disconnect power. And we're going to add some flux. Just like that. Now we're going to add solder onto those pads. I mean, this to me looks like maybe it's something that was done on purpose, because there's no possible way that you can screw that part of the board. No possible way. I do not know how that happened. But if it was done on purpose, it means the person who did that, they knew exactly that that trace is going to cause the screen not to come on, assuming that this trace will fix our black screen issue. Okay, so let's add some flux. All right. Let's clean up. And we do not know if that will fix our problem. Get rid of the glare, and that looks very nice. Now all we have to do is test. Will that fix our problem? I hope so. Plug it in. Right there. Problem is fixed. I honestly would like to know how that hole happened on the board. I cannot see how a screw can puncture that board. So it's fixed. The device is fixed. That's it. We're gonna end the video right here. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you have any questions, and we'll do something else in the next video.